So what's normal? My normal is different than your normal. My Monday is different than your Monday. The point isn't that it's normal to other people, that it's normal in comparison to anything. It's that it's my normal. It's that it's your normal. What is your normal? I don't know. Think about it for just a second. What is your version of normal? When you predict waking up tomorrow morning and you predict going through your day, what do you think is probably going to happen? What do you think you're probably going to do? Who do you think you're probably going to meet? How about Tuesday? Or next Monday or the following Monday? The point here is not the normal, right? That's yours, and that's okay. The point is, do you like your normal? Or are you pushing yourself out of your normal? Or do you feel trapped by your normal? These are the things that we're looking at. As I talked about when we first started, that going through life is like going up a flight of stairs. That every one of these low risers as we go up, that's a growth step. That's a new version of normal being formed. And this part is where we walk along it. We go, hey, I'm kind of digging this new normal. And that works until we get up to the next riser. And nobody knows it but us. Nobody knows when your next riser is but you. So you don't even have to worry about hiding it or nothing. Nobody's going to judge you by it because they don't even know where yours is. They don't know if your new riser showed up 10 years ago or if it's not showing up for 10 more months. It doesn't matter to anybody else on the planet but you. But it affects everybody else on the planet because we're all connected. When we bump into that riser, we bump into that next growth step, that next thing that we feel pushed or prodded or pulled to do this thing, to try this something, to be a different us, to create a different normal. We give ourselves permission to do it, or do we call in allies? And the allies are the excuses. The excuses are great allies for staying on this plateau, because they're all the reasons we got to this plateau and all the reasons that we can't go to the next plateau. And so we're not alone. When it comes to should I stay locked in this particular cycle, should I stay on this plateau, if you want to stay there, there is a ton of support to stay there. The people in your life know you as you are now. They know you as your current normal. And most people in your life will want you to stay on your current normal because they know what to expect from you. They know how you're going to act, what you're going to think, what you're going to say. The same way that you can predict your Monday, going back X amount of time, going forward X amount of time, the people in your life can predict you too because it's your normal. And so when you say, hey, I'm thinking about making a new normal, the people in our lives can go, oh, hold on, time out. I want the best for you, but what does that mean for me? I'll give you all kinds of reasons to stay at this normal because it's normal and I know my place and I know where we react and I know all these things. And going up here, going to this growth step, I don't know what that's going to look like or feel like or who you're going to become or how our relationship dynamics are going to change. And even the relationship that we have with ourselves. As long as we stay at our normal, we stay in that cycle, we know what we can expect from ourselves. We know probably what our biggest worries are going to be. We know probably what our biggest dreams are going to be. And we know probably if we're going to actually achieve them or whether we're just going to keep wanting them. We can pretty well predict where we're going to be as long as we're in that normal. Again, normal's not bad. If you like the normal you have, great. Great. I like my normal. But I also like better than. I like the things that I put in my mind of someday I will to be attainable to me. Not from a wish or a hope or a want, but from I'm taking an active step in this direction to actually experience it. That is snapping out of the normal because you're adding something new into it. Now, just as there's a ton of help to stay here on your plateau and your normal, I can't because my finances say, my time says, my body says, my this, that, I'm retired, whatever my thing is that I can do. There's equally as many excuses to go up that riser, to break the normal. In fact, some of the ones with breaking the normal can be really, really compelling. That, show of hands, how many people have had that tug inside to go do something outside of your comfort zone, but you feel like you were called to do it. It's part of your being to do it, right? We don't know what we're talking about. We're preaching to the choir, literally. But but we're all in this together. We all know what our normal is, and we all know what our risers are, and we all know what our tugs are, and we know how we've turned those tugs away, and we know when we've embraced those tugs and said, hey, I'm going to flow with it. And we know that when we resist those tugs,
I may live.
can I get you water, or do you have any coffee in there?
No, I'm okay.
I'll get you something if you like.
She has some.
Okay. But with that, we know the things that have worked. We know that when we resist our change, because we try to hold on to our normal, that gets harder and harder and harder as time goes on. Until we just throw up our hands and surrender. This is where I'm going to be, I quit. Now we know over on this side that when we embrace those inner tugs, and even if it's spooky and we don't know how, you okay?
No, but that's all right.
You want water? We do help you, man. We're trying to preserve your normal for right now until we can grow to the next one.
Breathing's my normal.
That's good. We want to preserve that. But when we embrace that inner tug, when we do that thing we raised our hand for, we feel alive. We don't feel like we're maintaining life. We feel like we're living it. Living it. Now we can all point back to times in our past, because that's a lot easier to look at than our present, because our past is already done, so we can look at that without as much judgment. But when we look back at our past, think of the times in your life that you were living your bliss, that you were living exceptional, that your thing inside, you said, yes, I'm going to do it, and I did it, and holy buckets, wow. Maybe it was taking that leap and going to college. Maybe it was getting that job. Maybe it was creating this thing. Maybe it was getting this certification. Maybe it was helping these people. Maybe it was creating this thing. Whatever it was, we all have our things in the past that we went, I was so in the flow in that moment. Oh, so in the flow. Remember that feeling. Remember that feeling of being in that flow. Not trapped in a cycle, in that mindset of that time that you were doing that thing that made you feel so wow. You probably couldn't predict your Monday with that degree of certainty. You probably couldn't predict. You could maybe predict, hey, once I accomplish this thing, then there's going to be this new open up opportunity. I'm going to create a new normal. And if I'm going to create a new normal, then I have to have some flexibility in my old normal. You tracking with me? Mm-hmm. All right, just making sure. Because there's times, y'all are a tricky group. There's times that, like, when I'm talking, when I feel like Spirit's just flowing through me, there's times that, man, I'm looking at it and I am, like, so connecting with each person. And, like, dude, I got you. Like, it's just the two of us in a room, just having a talk, with God kind of hanging off to the side going, hey, kid, say this. And then there's other times that, like, we get into that there's just, but it's not like a blank stare. It's like I'm in this, in my own stuff, which is what I'm asking you to be. But anyway, it gets a little harder because there's no nods, so I get a little lost. Plus, I kind of get in my own head as I'm saying stuff because I'm not just saying it, I'm living it. And you know, to me, I see just kind of a push pause. Come over here for a second. We put out the schedule for January and February at the beginning of January. And when we put out this schedule, we had no idea that our new normal was going to change so dramatically, and that Mary was going to be pregnant, and we think with twins and yada yada and all of these things. Had no idea that in the past couple weeks, a whole bunch of different things were going to be changing in really dramatic, good ways, and blah, blah, blah. We had no idea in January when we wrote that. So when we look at what's the topic for this Sunday, we go, Groundhog's Day, ending the old cycles, creating the new normal. Like, wow, wrote that a month ago, huh? I'm glad you had the schedule figured out. And we all get our motivation from so many different things. We get inspiration from anything. We can watch a movie and just wow and connect with it and change our lives. We can hear from a friend or someone, hey, I'm doing this thing and here's the results and it's really cool. And we can get inspired through them. And I've said it in the past and I stand by it. If you ever want to really know something, pretend you're going to teach it and ask God to help you learn it. And all week long, it just keeps right at the end of your nose, change, ending cycles, change, ending cycles. And this motivation, inspiration stuff is coming from anywhere. Now, that being said, yesterday, at 5 o'clock in the morning, and for those of you who know me know that I am not a morning person, at 5 o'clock in the morning, after going to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, so 2 hours worth of sleep, my alarm goes off and I get the, why is it a great idea, here's your new normal, it's not going to be the Saturday you thought. Instead, you're going to go to West Palm Beach Gardens and go to this regional training for this multi-level marketing blah 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 thing. And I'm like, I ain't doing 2 hours sleep, that's a long ways from here, and I'm not. And next thing I knew, the keys were in the car and down the road I was going. Going, well, let's go see what this new normal's about. Now, at the time, I was thinking about, you know, this thing, this business thing, and in that mindset, I wasn't in, you're going to hand me my Sunday sermon on a silver platter. But here was person after person showing up there saying, and forget the business side, forget the multi-level marketing side, just looking at it from today's subject of breaking a cycle and creating a new normal. There was person after person who said, this was life as I knew it. I was a realtor, I made 6 figures, I did these things, the housing bubble burst, and I had to do something different. I chose to do something different. And a lot of people in my field chose not to do something different, and they still are where they were, and it's a spooky place to be. And I'm glad, especially in hindsight, that I chose to do something different because I have created a new normal. And it was person after person after person saying, hey, I had achieved this level of normal. Corporate jobs, 9 to 5 jobs, punching the clock thing, family stuff, priority stuff, telling the kids repeatedly, no, I'm sorry, I can't. I gotta go to work, no, I'm sorry, I can't. We can't afford it, no, I'm sorry, I can't. And they got tired at some point of saying, no, I'm sorry, I can't. And they said, how can I? And stuff started to show up. In metaphysics, we teach us, when we're making vision boards last week, we don't know how that stuff's going to show up. We open a space that we want it to, and we're ready to, and whatever little steps show up for us, then we're going to take them. And as we do, we're going to create a new normal. And that's what we're doing. But to see person after person after person I met, talking to over lunch, whatever, everybody's story was different. Everybody's normal was different. What changed, the ending of the cycle, was going from a normal, this is what I worry about, this is what I want, this is what I can expect, to, I don't know, let's go see. To, when the excuses show up, is, no, I know what you're doing, and you're trying to keep me on that normal. And I know you, because we go way back, you and I, excuse. We're good friends. We've spent hours together. We're solid, but I've outgrown our friendship. I'm ready for a new normal. And that, my old friend, my old excuse, I just can't give it my power anymore. And kind of like Tarzan with a vine, when you start to let go of one vine, you start to really look for another one, because it's a ways down. And about the time we reach out, we take the action of reaching out. I find in my own life, and I think you'll find in your life, that that's about the time that God says, oh, here you go, and puts it out there. And oftentimes he puts more than one vine, which really confuses us, because we're letting go of this one, but there's like 4 of them. And so we're trying to figure it out, and but it's grabbing this one. And it's coexisting for a minute. My new life, my old excuse, my new life, my old excuse, and at some point we let go. And that's when we make a new normal. That's when the chain gets broken. That's when we're now on this one. And we go enjoy it for a while. What's this new normal? What's this feel like? Now, this can be with our health. If there's something about your health you don't like, we can talk about it, we can allow it to control us, and we can give it our power and say, I can't because ... Or we can say, let go of the excuse one, I'm ready for something different. I'm ready to break that cycle and have a new normal. Now what shows up? It may be a doctor, it may be an exercise, it may be a this, it may be a that, it may be a whatever it may be that shows up. It's just having the courage to grab hold of it, going back and forth with that's cool, excuse, that's cool, excuse, and decide which one you're going to hold on to. When you let go of this one, you come over to this one, there's some kind of action taken. If that action is just a different thinking, or a different being, or a different feeling, or welcoming in different help. We can make a brand new normal. Now, not just your new normal, and your new normal, and your new, and your new, and my new, and your new, and we can all have a new normal individually, but this becomes even more powerful when we do it collectively. If I know what I want my new normal to be, and I'm doing this, and nobody knows it but me, I've got the support of my spirit guide, I've got the support of my spiritual team, I've got the support of God, I've got the support of whoever I let in on my little secret that I'm right here. But when I instead go, hey Mary, I'm right here. I want to go this way, but it's a little spooky. All of a sudden, I have her support in helping me to let go of this one and grab onto this one. And I feel more confident in it because she knows about it, and she's going to support me in it. Now, if I tell Rose the same thing, hey Rose, I'm here and I'm here and you know, I'm trying to make this happen. What do you think? Chances are Rose is going to say, oh Scott, you know, I think that's pretty cool. Blah, blah, blah. And here's some stories that relate to my life of stuff that I've done, and maybe you can gain some inspiration, some strength from that, and I'll be there to help you along the way. And wow, now I got Mary and Rose. Well, gosh, well, now I got Mom and Pop too, and I got Sue and Mike, and well, I got Debbie and Darcy, and Mark's right there, and there's Steve, and gosh, now I got this big group of help. Now it's becoming a real no-brainer to let go of this, because the goofy thing about excuses is they're really good when they're the group and we're the singular. If there's one me and 100 excuses, I'm outmatched. But if I bring in some help, suddenly there's two me's, there's two of the positive. Now, half the excuses run away because they're cowards. They're like, ooh, we can't stand up to the girl. Right? And then when I bring Debbie into it, they're like, oh, we know the power of the Debbie. No, we ain't gonna mess with that. That girl's a ray of sunshine. We're not gonna be able to keep his butt down if she's there, because she walks in the room and he smiles. Debbie walks in the room, everybody smiles. That's how it is. That's part of Debbie's energy. That's one of the things we love about it. But that makes a third of my excuses run away because they just can't exist in that same energy. As a group, the excuses start to go away because the encouragement is there. This is what we can do individually. If you're here, not only is God looking to help you, not only is your spiritual support staff looking to help you, but every single person in this room is looking to help you. And a whole lot of folks who have been in this room in the past are looking to help you, and a whole lot of folks who have never even heard of this room are looking to help you. And the entire universe is pulling to get you wherever you want to be. Whether that's here, you will find unlimited support in staying here. Excuses have friends and they multiply quickly. And over here, you will find unlimited support for being here also. Unlimited support of people and friends and God. All this stuff. So as we look at Groundhog's Day, February 2nd, kind of appropriate, it was a few days ago. And I think about that movie. I think about my life. And you think about your life. Where do you want to be? What normal do you want? In the skit, I love it when God says, do you have time to work exceptional into your routine? I believe that every person in this room, I believe that every child of God is exceptional. Has exceptional inside of them. Are you willing to let your exceptional shine through? Are you willing to let your exceptional show? I think you can, and I think that it's little bitty things that bring about huge changes. Now, one last thing in closing. As many of you know, I believe in past lives and past life regressions, and I've done a whole bunch of past life regressions. And to me, you know, they say that when you're at the end of your life, right? Like you grab somebody who is you know, in they know that they're at the end of this lifetime. And you say, tell me about your life. What'd you learn? What'd you do? What'd you think? There is a whole different clarity than being in the middle of the journey or the beginning of the journey. There's a whole different viewpoint that we're coming from. Now, that being said, in past life regressions, we'll go into this regression, Mary, hypnotherapist, she's a lot of folks, but anyway, you're in there and you're like, okay, well, I'm in this life, I'm male or female, I'm this age, I'm in this country, it's this time period, it's, this is what's going on around me, almost like the main character of a movie. You say, okay, what's going on in your life? Well, this is what's going on. And we say, just like in a movie, let's fast forward to the next major event. What's going on? Well, I'm 13 and so-and-so's leaving home and da-da-da. Okay, let's fast forward to the next major event. Okay, I'm 18, I'm leaving home, I'm doing blah, blah, blah. All right, let's fast forward to the next major event. Okay, I'm 23, I'm getting married, I'm doing whatever. But it's that fast forward part, everything that's in between one major event and the next major event, and that major event is just a life change. It's just a life change. Think back in this lifetime, how many lives have you led in this lifetime? I was corporate guy, who you wouldn't even recognize from the guy standing here. I was psychic guy, I was this guy, I was that guy. I know that you were this, and you were this, and now today you're this, and tomorrow you're going to be that. How different will it be when the folks who know Darcy from NASA, who know the engineer lady, turn on the radio and hear her singing? That's a different you. That's a different life. That's a different normal. We all have been several people in this lifetime. Several different versions of normal. With some of us, 3 or 4 different versions of normal. With others of us, 100 different versions of normal. What's your normal? Are you comfortable there? And do you want it? If you feel stuck in your normal, I encourage you this week to look at maybe grabbing some vines, maybe bringing in some help, letting folks know what you're doing and how they can help, because they want to, and so does God. And you can do it, and not only individually, but as a group, as connections. We are already so different normal than we were a few months ago. I'm looking forward to us as a group being our different normal that's coming. As a whole group of us with the one big arm out there going, I don't know, you find it? I stretch a little bit, right? We can do it. We're doing it. And that's cool. With God's help, it'll be not only easy, but fun.